Hello people of the earth and welcome to QuickSaveTV. My name is Mike and today I'm going to present to you the, shut up Ares, Harvest Massive Encounter. A hybrid game of many genres altogether, several genres altogether. Anyway, to play the game we have a selection of several planets. We have Hephaestus, we have Poseidon, and we have Ares. We're going to go ahead and select Hephaestus since it's the only one that's available for us at this point for such newbie players such as myself. We have 5 types of game, 5 game modes. We have 5 game modes available to us. We have normal, wave, insane, rush, and creative. Honestly, they're all not extremely different one from another, but let me just briefly explain them. Normal mode is just the simple way the game was meant to play. You try to establish a base, you try to fend off the crowds of enemies slowly incoming towards you, you slowly accumulate threat level, and the more threat level gets, the more advanced weaponry enemy will use. The more advanced units enemy will be using and more enemies will appear. Wave is kinda like normal, but you control how quickly they come. The aim is to defeat them as quickly as possible. Well, okay, it's a more of a towards tower defense strategy. Insane is normal, but with very harsh conditions against you. You have much more resources that you're starting with, but you outright will be assaulted by very powerful troops of the enemy, and there will be a lot of them. Rush is Rush is a type of game in which you're supposed to deal 50,000 points of damage as quickly as you can. I wouldn't say it's extremely interesting for me, but I see what they're trying to tell you here. So you're trying to put as many guns as possible to deal more damage as soon as possible, but it's kind of weird game mode if you ask me. And creative, where you just build the base and enjoy yourself without enemies attacking you unless you want them to. Let's go ahead and start in normal. Honestly, these game modes, they're not particularly super different one from another, but they add to the differentiation in the game and it's very nice. So that's your base as such. That's the power generators called solar plants, and these are the energy links. Energy links quickly deliver the power, the energy from your plants towards other positions on the map, okay? It's wise to make these links as many of them as you can. As you can see, the light jumping around is in essence the energy from the solar power plant. Now that we're building the building, the same process is applied. These sun pieces slowly proceed towards your buildings, so the more of them you have pulsating around the place, the better. Now these objects also require energy to operate, so it's wise again to keep building these things to make kind of network in order to actually exploit the natural resources in the game, because otherwise it will take a lot of time. When we build a building, we have these 2 lines, we have these 2 circles, excuse me. Green one is the range of the mineral exploitation maximum distance, let's say. And the other one is the yellow circle, which indicates how far away at max can be the power link, okay? So you have to think about these things and slowly build up your base, exploit the minerals. In our circumstance, it would be beneficial to go towards this direction, but again, you have to remember that you have to somehow plan out your defenses as well, because otherwise you'll be cut off with your pants off when the aliens come, and it will be very difficult to defend against them. Just gonna go ahead and extend a little bit in here as well, and thus we're slowly starting to build our base. As you can see, slowly the amount of our lights starts dwindling. It's not noticeable right now, but as we get to more and more buildings, it will start dwindling more and more. So you have to supply your base with the energy. If I would have to define the type of strategy this game is, it's like a tower defense sandbox exploitation with the energy management. It reminds me a lot of games such as Earth 2070 and the games of a kind. Well, in essence, that's what it is. You build your base slowly like this. You later on we're gonna start adding on turrets, but right now I'm more concerned with building more solar plants because I want these lights to go around really quickly, etc. You can also, set the speed of the game. You can set attack priorities. Which towers do you want to attack what, and etc. etc. There's quite a bunch of turrets you can build. There's simple laser turrets. which we should be building already because we're almost under attack. And there are rocket launcher turrets, which are much more advanced pieces of technology, and you know, they're much more effective as well, but they require time to reload. So all these things you slowly as a player will get used to. It's not something extremely difficult, but it adds to the variety of the game, because as such it's not extremely different. You know, the encounters will not be extremely different, excuse me, because it's, in essence, it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again for many times. That's what the game is about, but it doesn't mean that the game is bad. The problem with the game, on the other hand, is that it's so docile and calm and steady that it almost makes you wish there were more exciting encounters in the game, because it's like a, you know, tower defense kind of game. There's not so much of things happening at the same time. It's like a mix of strategy and the tower defense. As you can see, there's small discs coming towards us, you know, the most classical representation of aliens there is in the world. And we're waiting for them to attack us, and now our thing does not reaches it. You see, it requires the energy to operate, and this annoying asshole has already evaded. Amazing, and we lost the building. Wow, how exciting. Yes, rebuild, you stupid workers. So that's what it is. That's what the game is about. This game is one of the games of the indie, how do you call it, indie hooray, indie bundle, indie, what is it, Indie Royale Summer Bundle, one of the good games inside of it. Not that other games are bad, but this one is one of the interesting and unusual ones. Very, very interesting to play, actually. But, you know, you have to remember if you're going to buy this game, you have to remember what you're buying. This kind of game is not for everyone, certainly because of the specific things inside this game. It might not appeal to everyone, and I'm confident it will not appeal to some people. It's a lot of fun for me to play, but I do know that it will die out really quickly, my interest in it. But at the same time, I do realize that I would really enjoy listening to a podcast over the internet, right, while playing to this game, just because of the way it plays. It's very docile. Look at this rocket launch. Take that, you son of a bitch. These rocket launchers, they slowly reload missile turrets, but they're very, very good at this, dealing gigantic amounts of damage over large distances. They're very, very effective. And as you are able to build more and more of them, you will feel more and more confident in your defenses. Again, as all the weaponry in the game, it requires energy to be recharged, to operate. Your missile turrets, defense towers slowly slowly drain the energy, and they have to be resupplied in order to work. When you build buildings, they again have to be resupplied. So it makes sense that you would build the solar plants as close to the new sources of exploitation. How to put it? The closer you build the solar plants, the better, right? But at the same time, you have to make sure you are able to defend them. Because right now, I'm going to lose my solar plant. Did I lose it? No, I did not lose it yet. At the same time, something noteworthy about the game is the scale of the battles and encounters generally. There's so many enemies coming at you simultaneously. It's a lot of fun to defend against. But at the same time, it's kind of crowded. But my real problem with the game is design of the enemies, right? The enemies of the second stage are kind of spider-like creatures. They look amazing, they look great, they look scary and imposing. But these discs, I mean, seriously? I feel like this Greek guy from the History Channel, the one that with aliens, it just doesn't look serious. I mean, they don't look imposing or scary or creepy or whatever. They don't even look aggressive. It's like they're going to shop or whatever. It's like family alien planes that go shopping, and you for some reason attack them because you're an asshole. Well, anyway. At the same time, you can use the powering up in order to power up and charge your turrets one after another. For example, this powering up will discharge this turret from activity. Okay, it will not be able to attack anymore, but this turret will have 110% range and 150% damage. Okay, by doing these long combinations, you can combine, let's say, let me go ahead and demonstrate it to you with a very, very easy example. We're going to combine several turrets in here and see how it's going to work to our advantage. As you can see, it deals more damage, but it's just one turret working. But I'm going to demonstrate to you why is it useful. The more turrets you combine, of course, the higher the effect will be, but it's kind of expensive, as you can imagine, especially it's expensive on energy rather than anything else. Right now we have the income of 8. We have now 8 active harvesters, which, as you can see, some of them are on standby because energy takes some time to be traveling. I'm still very new to this game, and I think I'm not necessarily building the best possible layout for my energy supply, but at the same time I don't really know, and they have this heat level, and I'm afraid that if I don't build enough of them, they're just gonna burn or whatever. Right now we're combining, how many of them? We're combining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them in one, and we have 140% range and 300% damage. Look at that, demolishing any and all opposition. Look at this, 160% range, 450% damage. Let's go ahead and see how it's gonna work out for us. Tremendous power placed on this turret, gigantic, outrageous distance. Look at this, 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 look at this. Burned like without, not even close. So there are certain advantages and disadvantages to doing that, and you should probably do it dynamically, because right now enemies coming from below, and I don't have such a strong defense there. I have such a strong defense up there. So there is a lot of strategy and tactics involved, but at the same time there's not so many game modes to play. Let me go ahead and demonstrate you waves, just to demonstrate you the enemy types there are in the game. There are not so many of them. I've counted about 5 of them. So we have the simple D70 armored hovercraft, which are essentially discs, Deathmite military miner, then we have the shuttles, and then we have armadillo tanks, zoom armadillo tanks, and then we have Black Dragon, then we have Thunderflea, and then we have all of them all together. So in essence we have these guys, we have this guys, we have this guys, this guys, and this guys. 6, right? We have 6 types of enemies in the entire game. Holy shit, those shuttles are really quick, look at this. We're gonna die, obviously. I'm just trying to demonstrate you the guys. Here, the spiders. Yeah, game over. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Well, that's what it is. That's the Harvest Massive Encounter, or whatever you call it. It's a very interesting game. However, I do expect it to get boring really quickly unless you're into this kind of thing. I do expect this game to be very interesting to people who like to build layout of their bases. Think perimeter, think how do you call this game? I think Earth 2070, think how do you call it? The game in which the Supreme Commander 2, think these games. If you enjoyed these games, you will enjoy Harvest, and otherwise you probably won't, because it's a very specific game which tries to hit very specific niche, so I'm afraid it's not for everyone. Regardless, I thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the video and my commentary, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel in order to support my work and get notified when new content becomes available. Thank you so much for listening, thank you so much for watching, have a greatest day, and bye bye.